Right, hey guys, how are we doing? Back with another video from Ham and Beat, and like I said I would, we're going to check out what happened at the end of Stone Ocean. Let's get into it. Ham and Beat! I love these videos.
This video will be discussing ending spoilers for part 6 of JoJo.
Fine.
Obviously, if you do not want to be spoiled,
That's fine.
avoid watching any more of this video. The ending of Stone Ocean served as the conclusion to the original JoJo series,
Which I love.
And the end of the conflict with Dio's legacy.
I love the anime's like
Phantom Blood.
roundabout
Anyone who has
outro.
read part 6 would tell you that the final stretch of chapters is one of the most shocking in the JoJo series, with almost the entire main cast being killed by the main villain, followed by the remaking of the universe. However, to this day, there still remains a ton of misinformation or misinterpretations surrounding the ending. Many people are confused about how exactly Made in Heaven works, and what it actually means to reset
Check
the
out the
universe.
Heaven Plan video.
Others are conflicted as to the meaning of the final universe and who exactly Irene is, as well as the true fate of the main characters. People also wonder what the state of the rest of the world we got to know in parts 1 to 5 is. And finally, people are confused as to how and if the ending of part 6 connects to the future parts of JoJo.
Okay, interesting.
I originally planned to make a video
Please don't spoil
part
7 for me.
However, with what we've learned about the anime's release schedule, that won't be for quite a long
Right,
time.
so, okay.
I've touched on the ending of part 6 before in my Debunking a Rock You Forgot part 6 video, as well as my video covering
Both
the
really good
Heaven
videos, both really good
But I would
videos.
still like to make a dedicated video like this to go completely
In
in-depth on the
depth,
topic.
nice, love it.
And with the release of the new chapters of Thus Spoke Ishida
Oh,
Rohan that
okay.
take place after part 6, a lot more people have appeared that are uninformed when it comes to the end of Stone Ocean.
Cool.
So in this video, I plan to dispel all the misinformation I can. I'll go over what happens when the universe is reset, what ended up happening in the end, and where the rest of the world stands afterwards.
Awesome.
First, we need to learn just exactly what resetting the universe means. In a previous video of mine, I went over Dio's plan to create what he called Heaven.
Yeah.
This was later adopted by Pucci as the plan that he sets in motion in part 6. The majority of the Heaven plan isn't really relevant to this topic.
Interesting,
but if you want to learn everything there is when it comes to it, you can check out my video going over it.
Do watch it, it's so good.
Dio wished to evolve his stand in order to create a new universe in which all people knew their own fate. By gaining the power of the stand made in heaven, a person can accelerate time until the point that the universe ends and recreates itself. Then the user of the stand can control the shape of the new world to their liking. Dio most likely wanted to create a world where not only was he above everyone else, but where everyone would be forced to know their own fate and become content with that outcome.
Peace of mind,
The process to reset the universe begins with Made in Heaven accelerating time. Time starts getting faster and faster, however people still function normally while everything around them goes haywire. Eventually the universe reaches its singularity point, where it ends and is recreated in exactly the same way. However, the user of Made in Heaven can restrict this universe's creation in certain ways. Pucci chose to leave behind everyone who died during acceleration, including the main cast that he had just killed.
Yep, like bye.
One of them to enter the new universe was Emporio.
Yeah, mate.
Since Jolene was able to separate him from Pucci and keep him alive for long enough. All life from the old universe is placed into the new one, and almost everything is exactly the same. However, those that die are left behind, and other people fill their role. This was shown when Emporio saw replacements of Jolene and Jotaro in the new universe.
in the interrogation,
Since everyone witnesses the entire course of the universe and then are placed into a copy of it, they will know their own fate ahead of time. This led to the world that Pucci wished to create, where everyone will be aware of their suffering before it happens and be able to cope with it.
Just know, just be fine with it, yeah.
It's
Weird.
for everyone else, the user of Made in Heaven can change it with his own actions. Since the user is unable to see their fate, Emporio used this to his advantage to trick Pucci into changing fate to lead to his own defeat. When Pucci died with Made in Heaven active, the universe was reset again. This resulted in the people who died and were previously kept away being reborn again in the new universe. In the final universe we see at the end of Part 6, Emporio is the only person who remembers the previous world.
He's got all the
The main
memories.
cast of Part 6 are reborn, this time with different names and improved lives. The majority of the questions when it comes to the end of Stone Ocean surround who exactly these people are, if they are truly the same people as the original cast, and how this reset applies to the rest of the world. A lot of people seem to assume that Irene and the others are just random replacements like the ones we saw in the previous universe.
Right.
This is not the case. Something that does give us an idea of what Irene is in relation to Jolene comes from the Stone Ocean afterword written by Araki following the conclusion of Part 6.
Oh, cool.
He says that while Jolene's memories are gone, her love and emotions remain in Irene. So while it is true that the original Jolene who lived a hard life through Part 6 no longer exists, her soul in this new universe was given a different path in life.
Right.
The same applies to all the others
Yeah,
we
they
see
have a
in the
nicer
end.
time. Easier.
However, what is the rest of the world like?
Dio's gone
The
now.
way I see it, it isn't fundamentally changed. The creation of the world was the same, and the events of the timeline would follow. During Pucci's defeat, Emporio repeats the idea first mentioned by Giorno at the end of Part 5, which is that while fate can be bent by people for unjust means, it will eventually self-correct
Justice.
and favor those who are just.
Yeah.
Back in Part 5, Diavolo tampered with fate using King Crimson. However, that fate eventually led to Giorno getting the arrow and giving Diavolo the ultimate punishment.
Hell yeah.
Similarly, Pucci tried to alter fate in the new universe, and when this backfired and led to Emporio defeating Pucci, fate corrected itself in the new universe and rewarded the main cast with a life and future free of evil's influence. As such, I think the only people whose lives were significantly changed were Jolene and the group. A lot of people ask how Jotaro was affected. While we can't say for sure since we don't see him, I think he'd be mostly the same, since
Yeah.
his adventures in the past would still have happened. Jotaro himself wasn't given an entirely new course in life, but the circumstances surrounding his relationship with Jolene are changed. Since Jolene wouldn't have been in danger, he would be able to become closer to her, and so he
True.
would have a better future. Some ask about the reason behind the name changes we see. I think these are mostly symbolic, just to show that with their lives improved, they're new people.
Yeah,
In
and away from the
Irene's case,
Joestar
this carries the additional significance
bloodline
of her
thing
no longer
where they're
having
destined
the
to fight
JoJo
Dio.
moniker.
Yeah, yeah.
This shows how she's free from the fates of her predecessors, who had to face so much hardship throughout their lives. The other main question comes to what happens with the rest of the world. Of course, there will be some differences, but they'd happen mostly in the background. Jolene was alive during Part 4, but not really mentioned. I don't think her having a better relationship with Jotaro really changes that story in any significant way.
No.
So everything we know from Parts 1 to 5 still would have happened in the way we remember it.
Okay,
The
awesome.
things that were changed are the lives of the Part 6 main cast, and the events of Part 6 itself, which no longer occurred in this timeline. Our only other glimpse into the future
Rohan.
after Part 6 comes from the newest chapters of Thus Spoke
Oh,
Kashibe
cool.
Rohan.
Alright, go ahead.
The 10th chapter, Hot Summer Martha, is set in 2021 during the COVID-19 pandemic, while Stone Ocean was set in 2012. The next chapter, Drip Painting Style,
Oh.
continues from where the last left off in 2022. As we can see, the lives of Rohan and Izumi are basically unchanged in the future.
Right.
This spin-off series has also featured characters such as Yukiko and Tonio,
So people
who
from
are also
Part-
the same as they were in Part 4.
Yeah.
In Rohan at the Louvre, we also have brief appearances of Koichi, Okuyasu,
So they're all
and Jose.
there.
When Hot Summer Martha came out, it led to a ton of confusion since people assumed everyone would be changed in this new universe. This even led some people into saying that Thus Spoke Kashibe Rohan is non-canon. I honestly don't get the logic in this conclusion. Instead of seeing the way that the manga contradicts what you originally thought and changing your reading of the ending based on that, instead some people would rather erase the spin-off entirely to keep what they thought
Wow.
happened from being
Oh.
disturbed. Of course, as we know, the spin-offs of JoJo written by Araki, such as Thus Spoke Kashibe Rohan and Dead Man's Questions, are canon, and there's no reason to think otherwise.
Right.
For the reasons I went over earlier, only the Part 6 main cast would have their lives drastically
Changed.
altered.
Yeah.
Characters like Rohan, who had nothing to do with them, would live virtually the same life that they had.
So thus
Some
everyone
people
else
ask
would.
if the characters in the new universe remember the reset at all. This this is definitely not the case. For whatever reason, some people seem convinced that Rohan would remember. Their reason for thinking this probably stems back to the brief mention of Rohan in Part 6, where it was said that he was still able to keep up with his deadlines even during accelerated time. People think this means that he was somehow immune to Made in Heaven's effects. This isn't what happened at all. Like anyone who has read or watched Part 4 knows, Rohan is able to draw extremely fast.
Yep.
That's what's being referenced here. The joke is that since he draws so fast, he's able to
still keep up with his deadlines, yeah.
Others say Giorno would be immune to the effects of the reset thanks to Goal Experience Requiem. This is a common thing with JoJo fans since people like to greatly exaggerate the power of Requiem. For whatever reason, people think that just Giorno would be protected, despite that not being how the stand works. Based on what we saw in Part 5, Goal Experience Requiem can reverse actions as a kind of self-defense mechanism. When King Crimson tried to attack Giorno directly, actions were reverted. As I've gone over in a previous video, Made in Heaven's acceleration is completely neutral, and it would not be singled out by GER as an attack on Giorno. And if Requiem did somehow activate in this scenario, Giorno himself wouldn't somehow be the only one saved, as people say. The entire action of the acceleration would revert. Also, we can't even be certain that Giorno still has Requiem at this point. After the final battle, the arrow that ended up embedded in Gold Experience's head fell to the ground. We never saw the stand after this point.
Yes, we don't know what state it's in. Interesting.
Back to its base form, much like how Silver Chariot reverted back after its temporary transformation into Requiem. Regardless of if Giorno still had Requiem, I doubt he would be treated any differently by the reset. In reality, Emporio is the only person who would know about the old world. For everyone else, they remember the current universe as if it's the one they've been living in this entire time. Of course, that doesn't make too much of a difference for most people, but we can be confident in thinking about how while the new Rohan chapters are happening, Irene and her friends are off living their lives in the same world. Finally is a question a lot of people have, which is how the ending of Part 6 connects to Part 7. As you probably already know, Part 7 serves as the beginning of a new universe of JoJo.
Right, okay.
Going back in time to tell a new story with some returning concepts and motifs.
Right.
A lot of people are under the impression that the new universe established here...
I know nothing about Part 7, so I'm very intrigued to learn a little bit.
This is not actually the case. People assume that since Jolene was remade into Irene, then all the other characters underwent a similar transformation to become the characters we see in the new universe, such as Johnny, Diego, Kira, and Josuke.
Okay.
However, this idea doesn't hold any water when we think about it for just a little bit. While it's true that many characters in the new universe are based on older characters, a lot aren't so simple. Many characters serve as composites of multiple old characters, and some are just entirely new characters outright. There's no neat way to assign all the old characters into new ones like the way Irene and Anarchus were.
Okay.
It's simply not how these characters are. Some would try to argue that it's totally possible for the Irene universe to fit into the new one, since she could just be one of the unseen Joestars from the other branches of the new family tree. However, to say that would imply so many other things that are just implausible. As if somehow in this universe, Jotaro is no longer the child of Holly but of someone else, and that meanwhile people who were originally not related to families like the Joestars or Higashikatas are now reincarnated into familial relationships with them in the large family tree featured in JoJolion.
Okay.
The reality is that the Steel Ball Run universe is entirely new.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Like some people are just it is a complete reset. It's like boom.
That isn't connected to the old. The existence of an unchanged Morio and other unchanged characters in the Rohan chapters is further proof of
I was going to say, yeah, that proves it surely.
It's definitely better this way. The journey of the original universe is
and that's a nice way of continuing that universe and still having the new one going. Yeah.
Knew that everyone was just reborn into yet another conflict to struggle through. It's better to keep the old characters there, knowing that they live peacefully.
Yeah.
Of course, that doesn't mean that the original universe is completely irrelevant when it comes to reading and understanding Parts 7 and 8. The whole reason for there to be so many callbacks to the original universe is because we're expected to recognize them. Our knowledge of the original characters is supposed to inform our understanding of the new ones.
These new ones, right? Okay, I like that. Yeah.
Can either be affirmed when it matches the old universe, or subverted when they do something on their own and surprise us. Certain concepts from JoJo, such as stands, are carried over and follow many of the same rules established in previous parts.
Cool.
And in some circumstances, new rules introduced to the Steel Ball Run universe can even change our understanding of the old universe. The biggest example of this is the Steel Ball Run Extra chapter, which beyond concretely establishing the connection between stands and spin, also gives a mention of the connection between stands and Hamon, which had only been briefly alluded to before.
Cool.
Part 8's focus on curses and their relation to stand abilities also gives us another perspective on the supernatural forces seen in the previous universe of JoJo and its spin-offs. So in that way, the old universe is still alive and relevant to the new disconnected parts. And of course, we can still view the continuation of the original universe
through Rohan.
Thus spoke Shibe Rohan. The Part 6 ending has served as one of the most hotly debated topics among JoJo fans.
Damn.
Hopefully with this video, I was able to dispel all of the misinformation about the ending, and helped people have a better understanding of the Part 6
Very
ending
good.
and all of the topics that surround it. If you want to see me cover some similar topics that relate to JoJo misinformation, comment them down below.
I'm glad they didn't spoil mad stuff for the next parts like that.
You can join the Hamon Beat Discord using the link in the description. To receive rewards like Discord perks and some uncut videos, you can support the channel on Patreon. And finally, for future videos, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.
Decent. Yeah, seems fair. Like, the universe still exists, but the people in Part 6 have better lives that they're living, and we're still experiencing the universe continuing through Rohan, which I think is cool. And then the 7 one, from my understanding, I'm anime only, so I'm not going to read it. So if you want me to watch Part 7 and 8 stuff, you're going to have to wait. Like with Part 6. But yeah, it's a complete reset. I like that. That's cool. It's just like nice little finishing off for the Joestars, and then we focus on Rohan, who isn't a Joestar, but like, you know, we see that universe is still going. Interesting. The guy already is great. Anyway, thank you to my patrons. If you want to have your name at the end of every video I upload, a link to the description of the Patreon page. $1 a month is all I support channels. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much for that. Thank you all for watching. What do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. Let me know what I should watch to go some future videos. I'll see you guys next time.